Hello, my name is Mike, and welcome to the post-January update for the Mike Burton Fire YouTube channel. It has been a while since I've done one of these. I've been a bit lacking in my duties. I did have that New Year's video, but that wasn't quite a channel update video. Not a proper one, at least. But I am here now. I apologize that it's taken me so long to get one of these up. I normally don't like to make excuses, so I'm not going to make excuses. I'm just going to say I'm sorry. I've been very busy, and I didn't mean to put this off for so long. It's just something that I kept putting off a little bit at a time until I was 3 months derelict, so again, I apologize. It has been quite a busy couple of months for me personally. I'm sure most of you would agree that it's quite busy around the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and maybe a second Christmas if your parents are divorced. You know how it goes. That's the kind of thing I've been dealing with. Plus, work has been ramping up for me outside of YouTube. I have a day job, and it's been requiring me to put in a lot of hours. It's a construction kind of job, and you wouldn't think that there would be a lot of construction work due during the winter. You'd think they'd want to hold off on all the construction work until the summer months, or at least the spring. Because if you're putting in foundation and everything in the winter, everything is going to expand as it gets warmer and some of the stuff is going to get loose. So you would think that they wouldn't do a lot of construction work in the winter. And yet, I have been working a lot of hours for the company. And then there was the incident where I rolled the company vehicle because the roads were so icy that I slipped into a ditch. It's nothing worth mentioning. It's just a thing that happens to everyone every once in a while. I wish I could say that was the first vehicle I've flipped over on its side, but that would be a lie. But let's talk about the channel, because I am quite happy where the channel is right now. We have had some slow and steady growth. You might think that I'd want to have a bunch of spikes, but I am very happy with this slow and steady growth. We're getting a couple hundred more subscribers every week, and there's no reason I shouldn't be happy about that. That's the kind of growth that keeps a channel going. And we haven't had to pay for ad space or self-promote or anything. It's pretty much just been word of mouth and YouTube algorithms, so I'm happy about that. We recently hit 70,000 subscribers, and right now we've got 71,000. We're still going strong. Every time I check it, we've got a few more subscribers, so the channel is definitely growing. If I had to make a goal for the end of the year, I would say set the bar high and try and hit that, 150,000 subscribers. That is more than double the number we have right now. I don't think we're going to get it unless we really put in a big effort, but it's a goal to work towards. If we get at least 100,000 by the end of the year, I'll be content. But I'm feeling like if we can keep up this quality content, we're going to have more. I was worried that once January rolled around, there was going to be a sharp decrease and then a slow climb back up to where we have been for the last couple of months, and that has not really been the case. We did have the sharp decrease right after the holidays are over. Ad revenues plummet, and January's ad revenue rates aren't great at all, but that only lasted a week or two, and now we're pretty much back to normal. So I was bracing for the worst, and it seems to not be so bad this year. As long as it keeps on going at this rate, I think we won't have any problem. Not like last year. Hopefully we won't have another YouTube adpocalypse or any other events like that. I'm hoping that's the case. Regardless, I am grateful for the patrons we have. I'm glad you enjoy the content so much that you're willing to throw $1 or $2 our way and support the channel as we grow during this very early period. And we have had quite a few new pledges in the last couple of months. So I would like to thank the following people that have made new pledges in the last couple of months. We have Marvin Potempa, Alex Gramlich, Coda the Fox, Tyler, Psycho Soda Pop, Tsani, Tracer S, Hunter F. Munich, Marcus Anglin, Jacob Shepa, Colin 14, Julius Velasco, Matthew Ludwig, and Parvikins. Thanks to all of you for your brand new donations. Welcome to Patreon. At least welcome to our Patreon. Thanks for supporting us on Patreon. If you're like me, you're already supporting a bunch of other shows as well. And thank you to the existing patrons who have been with us for quite a while. Let's talk about what we've done for the channel in the last couple of months. I wrapped up the Dragon Age 2 series. I really enjoyed Dragon Age 2. I wasn't sure what to make of it going in, because a lot of people told me that it was probably the weakest of the trilogy. That was the opinion that some people had. A lot of people seem to agree that Dragon Age Origins is a great game, and there is a bit of debate between the other two about which is the worst, so I didn't know what to think. And while it wasn't as good as Origins, it was still a very, very solid sequel, and I think it deserves more love. I don't think it deserves all the hate it's been getting. Zach and I also finished the Alien Isolation run. That is a series that did quite well. I really enjoyed it. I was a bit sad to see it end, but I was glad to play through that game. It's a very, very good game. Not my kind of game, but I can definitely see why Zach likes it. So I'm not sure what Zach's next game is that he wants to play on the channel, but if they're as good as Alien Isolation was, then I think I'm going to be in for a good time. Zach and I also did a Renowned Explorers mini-series, the Thanksgiving week series that we did. That was only 3 episodes long. It did pretty well on the channel, better than I was expecting a short series like that to be for a game that's not very well known, ironically. But it did quite well, and we had a great time, and maybe we'll do more short series like that in the future, because that was enjoyable. I also finished the Overwatch spray quest that I was going for, where I got every character's cute and pixel spray from the Overwatch game. I have been playing a lot of that game. I have been enjoying it a lot in my spare time. And I did that challenge run, and it was ultimately a success. The view counts on the videos were not spectacular, especially considering the amount of hours I put into getting those, but that's understandable. Overwatch is a very different kind of content compared to Fallout or Alien Isolation, Mass Effect. It's a very, very different kind of game, and sometimes it can be difficult to watch. But considering all the hours I put into playing Doomfist to get his achievement, and the spectacular accomplishment when I did it without any team coordination, that is something that everybody and their mothers needs to know. So maybe one day that'll go viral and people will be in awe at my Doomfist skills. And by Doomfist skills, I mean Doomfist luck, because a lot of what Doomfist is feels like luck. I also started up Witcher 3 again, because I took a break after doing the first couple of acts, the first act, I suppose. I enjoyed that game, but that is a very, very large game. In fact, if you wanted a game that would last you a long, long time, a big exploration type game, similar to Fallout, I would heavily recommend the Witcher series, because it's as wide of an ocean as the Fallout series games are, but it's also incredibly, incredibly deep as well. That is a huge, huge game. And there is a little bit of busy work here and there, but all of the quests have really good voice acting, and some of the quests take a very odd turn. I'm really enjoying this game, and I'm probably going to see it to the end, because it is just a top quality game. Even if the views fall off, they're only getting about 1,000 views per video right now, and it's probably going to keep on dropping as I do more and more. But regardless, I have been enjoying the series, and I do want to see it through the end. I'm not one for stopping RPGs in the middle. If I enjoy it, I really want to see it through the end, so look forward to more Witcher 3 on the channel. Zach and I also started up Mass Effect 2, one of my favorite games of all time. Zach has enjoyed it substantially more than his run through the first Mass Effect game, as I anticipated he would. Mass Effect 1 is a little difficult to get into, especially if you're not a fan of the genre, but Mass Effect 2 is such a top quality game that even if it's not your kind of game, you can enjoy it. And he has been enjoying it, and I know he's going to enjoy it more and more. We've got the next couple of episodes already recorded once he recruits Tally, and, well, if you've been following the series so far, you know he's got a very weird affliction for Tally. And that's only going to fester more and more as time goes on. But we're having a great time with that. We are really enjoying ourselves. So I look forward to seeing that to the end as well. And I can't wait for the suicide mission, because in my opinion, the suicide mission from Mass Effect 2 is probably one of the best parts of any video game ever. I love going out to YouTube and watching blind playthroughs of people doing the suicide mission. It's like watching my favorite movie, but it plays out differently every time I watch it. And that is such an incredible experience. I just love it so much. So more Mass Effect 2, and hopefully, regardless of whether or not Tally survives, I can convince Zach to play Mass Effect 3, because even though I think it's not as good as Mass Effect 2, it's definitely got a lot of great moments, a lot of amazing moments, especially the Citadel DLC. That is probably the best DLC for any game that has ever existed, period. I also started a Fallout 4 run. That is something I have tried to do before in the past. I have a couple of short videos from Fallout 4 Survival Mode from my last attempt. I recorded a few episodes, but I struggled to maintain them, and I figured I would stop, and I broke it down into 3 short videos, and I didn't continue it. But now I seem to have found a decent balance where I can really enjoy the game as I want to play it. Fallout 4 and I have a very strained past. When I first played it, and I got it the day it came out because I love New Vegas so much, I was incredibly disappointed. I just hated it, so I didn't play it for a long time. And then I eventually went back to it and forced myself to play through it, but I just really didn't hate it. It felt like a slog. But now that I'm playing a survival mode, now that I'm playing it less of an RPG and more of a survival game, I'm more able to enjoy it for what it is. Because it's really not an RPG, and once you come to accept that, you might be able to enjoy the game, as I have. And it is a shame we don't have another game like Fallout New Vegas. That might just be a rare gem that we never see ever again. But as it stands, Fallout 4 is not a terrible game. I am enjoying survival mode, and I'm hoping I'll be able to see it through to the end. Not just because it's a great game, and not just because it's actually getting quite a few views on the channel, but because it feels like I owe it to Fallout New Vegas to play Fallout 4. You ever have that sentiment? It's kind of like where you're playing the Final Fantasy games, but you stopped enjoying them 3 or 4 iterations ago, but the previous ones were so great that you just kind of keep playing them and hope that they're as good, hope they recapture the glory and the spectacularness of the previous games. And it never comes close, but sometimes you get a spark that it's almost there. That's my experience, at least. And of course, Zach and I have continued to play through Fallout New Vegas, the biggest hit on the channel. It's the cornerstone of the channel. It's not going to go away anytime soon. I really enjoy recording them with Zach, but man, do they take a lot of effort to edit. They take so much effort to edit. Because Zach and I will record them together, which will take an hour or two, and then I will edit the episodes down, which takes 2 or 3 hours per episode, and then I'll add the subtitles, which takes 6, 8 hours, and then I'll render it, and then I'll watch the video, and then I'll note down all of the mistakes that I make. Sometimes it's 2 dozen or 3 dozen errors, and then I'll go back and fix them, and then I'll re-render the video a second time, and then I'll send the video to Zach for approval, and if he points out another spelling error or something, then I'll re-render it a third time. It's a lot of effort, and you wouldn't think it would be, but the decision to add subtitles to that videos probably doubles or triples the workload. I could get so much more done if I didn't add subtitles, but at the same time, I feel like the subtitles do serve a purpose, and I wouldn't want to stop doing them in the middle of the series. People are always asking for more Fallout New Vegas content, and I think we may have reached the max on that. We used to be putting out 10-minute episodes per week, and now we're putting out 15 to 20-minute episodes per week, and that is a lot of work. But I think those are some of our most enjoyable videos, and I do enjoy going back and watching them over, even after I've had to watch them for several hours. Seeing the finished product again a couple of months later, it does feel really good, and it does make me laugh still. But now it's February, and we have, for I think the last 13 or 14 months, put out a video every day, at least one video. When I started out, I was making 1 to 2 videos per day. Once I picked up my other job, it was reduced to pretty much 1 video a day, and that's good enough for me right now. However, I have felt the quality of these videos start to slip a little bit. Some of the videos I've been releasing have had significant editing errors, or more importantly, the Fallout New Vegas videos aren't done until the day of, and then they go up, and YouTube won't approve them for monetization, so we have to delay the videos or put them up on time but without any monetization on them. And that hurts the bottom line. It's just been really difficult to keep up daily videos, and I'm looking at changing that a little bit. Because some of my favorite videos on the channel that we have released over the last year have been the short videos. If you look at the playlist that we have called Short Stuff, that is some of my favorite content on the channel. I've enjoyed playing through a bunch of video games, doing them long form, but there are a couple of video games where I did a short form series on them that lasts anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes, and I think that if I go back and watch my own videos, those are the kinds of videos I would enjoy the most. And it's been a shame because the last couple of months I've been so tight on time that I haven't been able to make anything like that. So in the future, I may have an increased focus on quality content and less focus on quantity, less daily videos, fewer daily videos, more videos that you would enjoy even if you're not a fan of the series. Because I can understand that people would watch the videos that we have if they like Fallout or if they like the commentary between myself and Zach. Those videos seem to do great. If I play a game with Zach, it gets 5,000 views. If I play Fallout by myself, it gets 5,000 views. If I play Fallout with Zach, that gets tens of thousands of views. And if I play anything else, it struggles to make the bottom line. So you can probably expect that Zach and I will continue to play Fallout New Vegas and a couple other games at least once a week. But in the future, the other content on the channel might shift a bit. But it might be better if we stop doing daily videos on the channel and start putting our efforts into shorter, more digestible pieces of content. Because I know not everybody has half an hour every day to watch the video we put out. But if the video is very, very good and it's only 5 minutes long, it might be more palatable. So that's where I'm looking to transition the channel to in the future, in the long term. But in the short term, I think we're going to keep going steady as we go. Not going to shake the boat a little too hard. At least not until the Fallout 4 series is done. After that, all bets are off. I do eventually want to at least take a look at Dragon Age 3 and finish off the trilogy as we have been able to finish the first two. But after that, I think we might focus on shorter videos, shorter and more enjoyable videos. That's where I'm looking at least right now. As for other plans in the future, Zach and I have been discussing them. We don't have anything concrete at the moment. We have been tossing around ideas though. The major problem is just that we have difficulty finding time to coordinate because he's working 2 part-time jobs and I'm working a part-time job that's kind of become a full-time job. In addition to the editing for the channel, it's difficult. It can be quite difficult. Luckily, this project, this YouTube project, grants me a fair bit of flexibility so I can adjust my schedule to meet his needs. I would like to do more with Zach on the channel, but it can be difficult finding the time. But he has proposed a few ideas, and I have enjoyed listening to them. I think some of them are good ideas. It's just difficult finding time. That's just the biggest obstacle for us. We'd have more content if we didn't have to do these dang jobs and have these stupid adult responsibilities. Another thing I've been planning on doing in the future, but I have never gotten around to doing, is Twitch streaming. Zach has dabbled in that a little bit, and I haven't. People have suggested it for me, and every time I check my email, I get a new notification from Twitch saying 3 more people have subscribed to Twitch, your channel on Twitch. And I don't know why, because I've got nothing on that channel. But if people are interested, then I should probably put more of an effort to doing that as well. That's just one more thing I would have to do, though, and I would enjoy doing it, but just getting started with something new, that seems... It's daunting. It's daunting to start something new, I'm sure you can understand. But there has certainly been a demand for it, so maybe I'll follow up on that in the next couple of weeks or months. No time frame right now. Just throwing it out there, I might start Twitch streaming eventually. I think that's all I have to say for now. That's another reason why I hesitate to make these videos. Sometimes it just feels like I don't have a whole lot to say. Oh, yes, Patreon. Maybe some of you heard a couple of weeks back, Patreon was making a change in their payment processing. So pledges of $1 were going to cost $1.50 or something like that. It was a weird kerfuffle going on in Patreon backlines, and it was a change that would have affected me, not only because people are making pledges to me, but because I am making a bunch of $1 pledges myself. So I was definitely keeping an eye on that. But as I suspected, it was something that didn't really go through. It was a proposed change that fell through, and ultimately it was something that didn't happen, so I didn't really pay too much attention to it. Speaking of changes in the way things are done, YouTube also did a change for the way payments are processed for smaller channels. I didn't look too deeply into this, but it sounded like if your channel is making a very small amount of money, something like $5 a year in ad revenue, you're not going to get paid. I think you had to have the threshold was raised, so you had to have like 10,000 subscribers or I think it was 40,000 hours viewed per year or something. I honestly wasn't paying too much attention to it, but it did hit Zach's channel. Zach had a couple of videos on his channel, but then YouTube's changes went through and they were applied retroactively, and his channel was essentially demonetized. So we ended up putting 1 or 2 videos from his channel on the main channel, the Mike Burn Fire channel, so they could still earn ad revenue. This change by YouTube, a lot of people are making a big fuss over it, but I honestly don't think it's that big a deal. I hope it doesn't make me seem arrogant if I say that, because I know the channel is big enough to not be affected by it, but I can understand the need for YouTube to want to resist putting ads on videos that get very few views, but could be very offensive, and so other publications, newspapers could point to YouTube having... I'm hoping that this change will help them avoid another adpocalypse. I'm hoping we don't have a second one this year, because that helps nobody. So that was one more change that happened in the last couple of months that would have affected ad revenue for us if we were smaller, kind of, but not really, because it only affects channels that weren't getting paid anyway. Yeah, it's just something that's been happening behind the scenes at YouTube, if you care to learn about that. There are other sources more informed than I am, and people who have stronger opinions on it, but from what I have learned I don't have a whole lot of time to read the news. I try and keep this in my peripheral vision, but I do not spend a whole lot of time outside of work and video editing and making videos for the channel and playing Overwatch occasionally, so I don't really follow this kind of stuff. Not as intently as maybe I should be, being that this is kind of my job. Maybe I should keep a better eye on it. I think that's it for me for now. I've got 2 more episodes of Fallout New Vegas I need to start. Well, I need to finish editing. I've been working on them for the last couple of days, and I'm getting pretty close. So I got to finish editing those and do a few more other things. And I should probably stop neglecting the housework. I've been putting that off. Yes, I've been putting that off for a couple of months as well. My checklist on my phone keeps filling up with... There's a red number on my phone that says how many tasks are overdue, and I think that number is up to 7 right now. So I should probably... I've got to stop neglecting my responsibilities. So until next time, again, thanks for being a patron. Thanks for enjoying the content on the channel. If you have suggestions for us, or if you have questions you want us to answer, do not hesitate to put them in the comments for this post or the YouTube video. I do read the comments on YouTube. I try and read all of them. We're still small enough where that's a feasible thing for me to do. I do check those daily, and I do pin comments that I think are enjoyable if they contribute. If they're funny, if someone's making comments in the joke and I think it's a good joke, I will pin that comment or heart that comment, whatever that does. I have no idea. But until next time, my name is Mike, and this has been the channel update for January 2018, and also November and December of 2017. I'm sorry!